Hey everyone, just thought I'd share a couple thoughts. I just shared a video on Rumble with a bunch of high-level doctors. The one that created the PCR test, another with the mRNA. High-level doctors that help produce these things that are totally against it. The same ones that are being canceled off the internet and their credentials are trying to be destroyed by the mainstream media. And I just had some thoughts that I wanted to share. It's interesting. There's two trains of thoughts out there. One is being canceled, one is not. To me, that should just speak volumes as we look at history and what's been done in history. The cancel culture is definitely canceling out one side of the issue. The same people that are getting canceled out are the same people that want to have discussions on both sides of the aisle. I was at a dance a couple weekends ago. There's a doctor there, and he was sharing how he just is trying to fight to keep both voices allowed and the freedom to disagree in the medical world. And yet the doctors that are coming out and saying, hey, this is the data I found against the vaccine or against the mask, they're the ones that are being canceled out. Again, I think that should be a huge indicator of where the truth may lie. The truth seekers, the ones that want both voices heard, are the ones being canceled out. The ones that are not being canceled out are the ones that want to cancel out the other voice. So just a thought. It's interesting, the end of 3rd Nephi, before the Nephi goes and prays all night because they're going to murder the Christians the next day if the signs aren't fulfilled. You start thinking, like, how on earth did they get to a point where they're going to kill Christians? How on earth did the Nazi regime convince the people to kill Jews when it was good to put them in concentration camps and get them away from them? I mean, we're not that far away from the narrative being, hey, those that are not willing to be vaccinated don't love their neighbor. And since they don't love their neighbor, we're going to kill them or put them in concentration camps or separate them from everybody else. We may not call it a concentration camp. We'll call it something else. We'll quarantine them in hotels or other isolated facilities since they're a threat to society. So subtly it happens. It's not like, hey, we're just going to kill all the Christians today. We're going to kill all the Jews today. Happens subtly. Same tricks, same flattery that's been done throughout time. And we're right on the cusp of it again. And if we really believe the Book of Mormon, if we really believe Ether 8, and we believe that Moroni knew what he was talking about, that Mormon really did see our day, then we believe that there really will be a secret combination that it gets above us in every level of the political environment, in organizations, religious organizations, so the scientific movement, the medical world. There is a secret combination designed to overthrow the freedom of all men that Satan's behind, obviously. And he's been fighting against freedom since the pre-existence and our agency. And they're severely trying to limit it. They're trying to severely limit our agency still and our freedoms. And one common thread I've seen with those that are against the vaccine are those that want freedom. They want freedom to choose. They're not trying to force everybody to not take it. They're trying to share information, and they want the freedom for their own lives to choose for themselves. Others we're seeing very much try to put the pressure on that if you don't take it, you don't love your neighbor, and manipulate the scriptures to say what they're trying to say. So anyways, I just encourage everybody to look at history, the patterns of history, look at the scriptures, what the Lord's prophesied would happen. Isaiah says, masses amounts of people are going to be killed. Maybe that's the way it's going to happen. Everybody taking something that's going to kill them. Or maybe those that fight against it are going to be killed. And it should be that way. The book of Revelation talks about those that die for the testimony of Jesus. We should have to put everything on the line. We should have to prove loyalty to truth over loyalty to an organization or a church. We should have to prove loyalty to God over loyalty to family. We should have to have it all on the line where our health, our physical well-being is not what matters, but truth is what matters, because that's what mattered to Christ, and he gave up his life for a time in defense of truth. And if we think it's going to be easy, and we think that the the whole crux of the matter is what's best for my health or to keep me alive, then we're going to be confused with all the data. But if we look at a high level what the purpose of life is all about, things start to become a little more clear. So anyways, I guess this is my last ditch effort. I'm trying to help those that are on the fence, especially with the president of the church, the corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, coming out and saying that everybody should be vaccinated. I just really encourage you to go to what Jesus taught in Joseph Smith translation of Matthew 24, which is the Joseph Smith Matthew book in the Pearl Great Price, where he tells his apostles that'll be the last days there'll be a lot of deception, and how to avoid deception is whosoever treasureth up my word shall not be deceived. And he said to beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, and he said by their fruits ye shall know them. In the scriptures, when has the right been popular? When has truth and light and righteousness been popular? When the church is lining up with the one world order, the whole UN agenda, the whole medical world that's not being canceled out, the one that's being accepted, their basis, even the germ theory versus terrain theory. Google that. That's amazing. Explorative study. There's a book called The Contagion Myth, and that's now been changed to The Truth About Contagion. Dr. Thomas Cowan. Very good book. It'll rock your medical world, because we've been trained in a world of deception, even with vaccines and viruses to begin with. There's a lot more to what's going on than what's been portrayed. And we've been conditioned to think certain things. There's connections between different people in the high-level computer world, viruses and computers, and how you get rid of those and everything else. So anyways, when your church organization is in alignment with all the other major world religions and government and the medical world, it should raise red flags, because it always has not been a good thing when you're in the majority. The majority of the people were in the great and spacious building, mocking the humble followers of Christ that were taking hold of the rod of iron, the word of God, and receiving the love of God, not the love of the world. Not acceptance by their neighbor, not acceptance by their family members or church members, but love and acceptance from God, which was more exquisite and joyful to the soul than anything else that they'd ever before tasted. Some will always do things to be seen of men and to be accepted by other men and be accepted by the world, or to keep their job or to keep their position. Others will choose Christ and will walk his lonely road, really, in a lot of ways. Isaiah spoke of him and said he was rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. We did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. People even thought Jesus was afflicted and smitten of God. And that's still happening. Those that are in the great and spacious building are still pointing, mocking, saying God is cursed to those that actually are the ones that have chosen Christ and have been blessed and received of him. So anyways, just some thoughts. I probably forgot to say half what I meant to say, but hopefully that's helpful to some degree. Thanks. Bye.